the External Affairs Minister. As we speak, there are conversations going on today as well with world leaders. And your assessment or conclusion of the general tenor of these messages is very much on point. And I think this is a recognition of the fact, firstly, of the barbaric nature, the unprecedented nature and character and features of the attack in Pahalgam, and a recognition of India's right to respond to this, and also a recognition of the fact that in responding, we have been nothing but responsible and have done so in a restrained, in a measured, and in a non-escalatory manner. I think that counts for something. People have taken that into account, and that is what is explaining the kinds of reactions that we are seeing. And we appreciate the sentiments and the statements that have been made by the vast majority of world leaders. Yes, the Saudi Minister of State for Foreign Affairs is in Delhi. He had a meeting with the External Affairs Minister earlier today. I don't have further details at this moment, but if there are details, the Ministry will share them at some point with you. Thank you. I think that's all we have time for today. We'll join you again soon. Thank you all.
Thank you. To this briefing by Foreign Secretary Shri Vikram Mishri on the ongoing developments regarding Operation Sindoor. We also have with us Colonel Sofiya Qureshi and Wing Commander Vyomika Singh for this briefing. With that, I hand over the floor to Foreign Secretary. Sir.
Thank you, Ranveer. Good evening. Thank you all for joining for this briefing. You would have perhaps seen some information related to developments since late last night, early this morning, which has been put out by the Ministry of Defence. Just in case it has been missed, I will request Colonel Sofiya Qureshi and Wing Commander Vyomika Singh to just update you and fill you in on the details.
Thank you, sir. ऑपरेशन सिंदूर पर 7 मई 2025 को हुई प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस के दौरान भारत ने अपनी प्रतिक्रिया को केंद्रित, संतुलित और गैर उत्तेजक बताया था। सिंदूर पर 7 मई 2025 को हुई प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस के दौरान भारत ने अपनी प्रतिक्रिया को केंद्रित, संतुलित और गैर उत्तेजक बताया था। यह विशेष रूप से स्पष्ट किया गया था कि पाकिस्तानी सैन्य ठिकानों को निशाना नहीं बनाया गया। साथ ही दोहराया गया कि भारत में किसी भी सैन्य लक्ष्य पर हमले का उचित जवाब दिया जाएगा। 7 से 8 मई 2025 की रात को पाकिस्तान ने उत्तरी और पश्चिमी भारत में स्थित कई सैन्य ठिकानों को, जैसे कि अवंतीपुरा, श्रीनगर, जम्मू, पठानकोट, अमृतसर, कपूरथला, जालंधर, लुधियाना, आदमपुर, भटिंडा, चंडीगढ़, नाल, फलौदी, उत्तरलाई और भुज पर ड्रोन और मिसाइलों से हमला करने का प्रयास किया। इन हमलों को इंटीग्रेटेड काउंटर यूएएस ग्रिड और वायु रक्षा प्रणालियों द्वारा निष्क्रिय कर दिया गया। इन हमलों का मलबा कई स्थानों से बरामद हुआ, जो कि पाकिस्तानी हमलों का प्रमाण है। On the night of 7th May 2025, Pakistan attempted to engage a number of military targets in northern and western India using drones and missiles. These places included Awantipura, Srinagar, Jammu, Pathankot, Amritsar, Kapurthala, Nal, Jalandhar, Ludhiana, Adampur, Bhatinda,
Chandigarh, Phalodi, Uttarlai and Bhuj. These were neutralized by the integrated counter unmanned aerial system and other air defense systems. The debris of these attacks is now being recovered from a number of locations that prove the Pakistani attacks.
आज सुबह भारतीय सशस्त्र बलों ने पाकिस्तान के कई स्थानों पर वायु रक्षा रडार और प्रणालियों को निशाना बनाया। भारत की प्रतिक्रिया समान क्षेत्र में समान तीव्रता के साथ की गई। यह विश्वसनीय रूप से ज्ञात हुआ कि लाहौर में स्थित एक वायु रक्षा प्रणाली को निष्क्रिय कर दिया गया।
Today morning, Indian Armed Forces targeted air defense radars and systems at a number of locations in Pakistan. Indian response has been in the same domain with the same intensity as Pakistan. It has been reliably learnt that an air defense system at Lahore has been neutralized.
पाकिस्तान ने नियंत्रण रेखा पर आकरण गोलीबारी की तीव्रता बढ़ा दी है, जिसमें कुपवाड़ा, बारामूला, उरी, पुंछ, मेंढर और राजौरी क्षेत्रों में मोर्टार और भारी तोपखाने का इस्तेमाल किया जा रहा है।
Pakistan has increased the intensity of its unprovoked firing across the line of control using mortar and heavy calibre artilleries in areas in Kupwara, Baramulla, Uri, Poonch, Mendhar and Rajouri sectors in Jammu and Kashmir. 16 innocent lives have been lost, including 3 women and 5 children, due to the Pakistani firing. Here too, India was compelled to respond to bring mortar and artillery fire from Pakistan to a halt. Indian Armed Forces reiterate their commitment to non-escalation, provided it is respected by the Pakistan military. Jai Hind.
Thank you. Friends, this is, as I said, further to the briefing that was provided yesterday and some of the updates that have been just provided by Colonel Qureshi and Wing Commander Singh. I thought that we would just put some of the aspects related to the events that started on 22nd April with the barbaric terror attack in Pahalgam into further context, because there is a certain amount of commentary that has happened with regard to the events since then, and more than the commentary, there has been a lot of disinformation that has been directed at us from across the border. So a few things that I would like you to keep in mind. First of all, there is mention on all sides of escalation. I think the first point that you have to keep in mind is the attack of 22nd April in Pahalgam is the original escalation. ये जो सिलसिला है जो हम देख रहे हैं आज की घटनाओं को लेके, ये 22 अप्रैल के पहलगाम के हमले से शुरू हुआ है। एस्केलेशन वहां पे हुआ है और उस एस्केलेशन का जवाब भारतीय सेना ने, भारतीय फौज ने कल अपने एक्शन से दिया है। Secondly, I want to invite your attention to the involvement of the group calling itself the Resistance Front in these attacks. I pointed this out yesterday that this is a group that is a known front for the well-known Pakistan-based terrorist organization Lashkar-e-Taiba. The group has been reported earlier. I mentioned to you about the Indian authorities providing information to the UN 1267 Sanctions Monitoring Committee, In fact, we are going to be meeting with the team again very soon, and we will be providing an update to the information that we have provided earlier. But what is interesting, दिलचस्प बात यह है कि संयुक्त राष्ट्र की सुरक्षा समिति में जब पहलगाम के हमले को लेके एक प्रेस वक्तव्य जारी करने की बात चल रही थी, तो आप सोचिए किस देश ने TRF का, द रेजिस्टेंस फ्रंट का, उसमें मेंशन किया जाना, उसको अपोज किया, पाकिस्तान ने. This was after the fact that the TRF claimed responsibility for this attack not once but twice, within a few hours after the incident on the 22nd of April, and then again on the morning of 23rd April. And it is perhaps only after the full gravity of the incident was realized by its masters and handlers across the border that it was managed to back off from this claim. Obviously, that retraction doesn't convince anybody. तीसरी चीज जो मैं आपसे कहना चाह रहा था, और कर्नल कुरैशी और विंग कमांडर सिंह ने कल भी बड़े स्पष्ट शब्दों में और आज भी आपसे ये बात साझा की है. जो भारतीय रिस्पॉन्स है वो नॉन एस्केलेटरी है, प्रिसाइज है, सटीक है, मेजर्ड है और कंसिडर्ड है. Our intention has not been to escalate matters. We are only responding to the original escalation, as I said, and our response has been targeted, precise, controlled and measured. Only military, no military targets have been selected. Only terrorist infrastructure in Pakistan has been hit. Now, there are, as I said, a number of issues that have been raised in commentaries, and there's a lot of, as I said, unfounded disinformation and fabrication that has come from across the border. And I would just like to use this opportunity to set the record straight on some of these issues. The first of these is Pakistan trying to wash its hands off any and all involvement with terrorism. I think the Pakistani information minister said there are no terrorists in Pakistan, and I think he was challenged on that in the television program that he was appearing on. But even if I partially repeat myself from yesterday, I think Pakistan's reputation as the epicenter of global terrorism is rooted in a number of instances where concrete evidence is available, not just to India, but to governments and authorities and agencies around the world. There are several terrorist attacks around the world where Pakistani fingerprints have been found. I don't need to belabor the point with regard to this audience about where Osama bin Laden was found and who called him a martyr. Pakistan has also for decades pursued cross-border terrorism into India with impunity, and as I said yesterday also, in order to deliberately mislead the international community, they claimed that the terrorist Sajid Mir was dead. They came under pressure, and Sajid Mir was then brought back to life, arrested, and is now apparently in Pakistani custody. Pakistan is also home to a very large number of UN proscribed as well as UN proscribed terrorists, as well as terrorists proscribed by a number of other governments in the world, including, of course, the Lashkar-e-Taiba and the Jaish-e-Mohammed, as well as their leaders, Masood Azhar and Hafiz Mohammed Saeed. आपने देखा होगा हाल ही में पिछले कुछ दिनों में पाकिस्तान के रक्षा मंत्री और उनके पूर्व विदेश मंत्री दोनों ने इस बात को माना है कि पाकिस्तान का ऐसे ग्रुप्स के साथ जो रिश्ता है वो क्या रहा है. Both the defense minister and the former foreign minister of Pakistan, I think, they've done a more eloquent job of this than I could ever do in terms of describing their country's implication in international terrorism and their involvement in housing these kinds of groups. दूसरा जो विषय है वो है पाकिस्तान का जो एक दावा है कि एक इंटरनेशनल impartial investigation होना चाहिए, एक joint investigative committee होनी चाहिए. These calls for jointly investigating this heinous and barbaric attack in Pahalgam. Again, I think you know the history well on this, you know the track record well, and it is not a bright track record insofar as Pakistan is concerned. In fact, in the pursuit of justice for the victims of multiple terrorist attacks, whether it be Mumbai in 2008, in Pathankot in 2016, or many others, but in particular for these two attacks, India had offered to cooperate. India provided forensic evidence and urged Pakistan to bring the perpetrators of these attacks to justice. We, in particular with regard to the Mumbai attacks of 2008, where a Pakistani Lashkar-e-Taiba terrorist was captured alive, India provided extensive information and evidence related to the involvement of Pakistani terrorists in this attack. Cases were registered, but you are all aware that these cases have not progressed despite the formation of judicial teams, etc. And Pakistan has consistently stonewalled all efforts to move the investigation along. In fact, with regard to the Pathankot attack as well, a joint investigative team was formed. We gave access, unprecedented access, I should say, to Pakistani team to the site of the attack. Details of call records.
Okay. Hello and welcome. I'm Abhishek Singh and you're watching the Hindustan Times. Late last night and early this morning, Pakistan attempted to strike at least 15 Indian cities, including Jammu and Kashmir, Punjab and Gujarat. India successfully blocked the attack. In the counter-strikes that India carried out, today morning Lahore's air defense system was knocked out. However, in the heavy artillery and mortar firing carried out by Pakistan, 16 innocent lives have been lost, including of women and children. India has underscored its commitment to non-escalation as long as Pakistan doesn't escalate. Just minutes ago, the MEA held a press conference to unpack some of the things discussed there. I'm joined by Wing Commander Satish Sharma and Colonel S. Dinny. Thank you, Wing Commander Satish Sharma, for taking the time and talking to us, and Colonel Dinny, thank you.
Pleasure. Pleasure. Thank you, Abhishek.
Wing Commander Sharma, let me first come to you. Last night, Pakistan attempted to strike multiple Indian cities, and India successfully blocked those attacks. If you could share more about what might have happened last night, because a lot of rumors and a lot of misinformation is being pushed out from Pakistan's side. Some of that was, of course, addressed by the Foreign Secretary in today's MEA's press conference, which was held just minutes ago. But take a minute or two and explain that to us, sir.
See, it has been clarified by the MEA Secretary today in the press briefing also. As far as Pakistan is concerned, Pakistan has retaliated what our legitimate right was there in Operation Sindoor. So especially the Pakistani forces, this kind of retaliation was expected from them. And the basic reason for that was General Munir. He wanted to show some face off and side it towards the terrorism, the bases which we have neutralized. And these 9 bases, out of that, 4 particularly in the proper Pakistan land, and 5 were from POK side. So the situation was there when the Tribal government has given go ahead to the army chief. They have already prepared what they had the best in their arsenal. So they have fired those missiles and mortars, including some kind of drone attack. But we were well prepared. That their air defense systems was crippled from our side. That was body located, and it was actually not from Pakistan. It was from China, that HQ-9 China AD system. So we have destroyed it successfully, and they have targeted our 15 places, our bases, defense forces bases, and the civilian area too, starting from J&K, Awantipura, Bhatinda, Chandigarh, Adampur, Amritsar, Pathankot, Kapurthala, this list. So we were well prepared and discovering 2,000 kilometers area along the LOC. You might have seen in the briefing that they have even targeted the holy place, Gurdwara in India.
Yes.
So this was the action from the Pakistan side, and this was one kind of response they wanted to make it. We have not made the target any specific target of defense installations, civil governments, or any city of Pakistan. We have confined ourselves to the pinpoint targeted where the hideouts and the basic, I use the word now, they said they have attacked on holy place. They were not the holy place. They were called the basic hideouts and the Mother Teresa's, the mosque where the terrorists were groomed. They were given all kind of training and launched against India from last 20 years. So it was point clear from our side. It was very concise and very specific, very controlled, and we can say we have done the precision guided munitions. Loitering munitions was used, smart weapons were used, and that is the thing. With that technology, we had the edge over Pakistan. Our Rafale was very considerably used. The Hammer bomb was used. So this action was perfectly measured, non-escalatory in nature, no, without any, it was absolutely proportionate, and considerable restraint was exercised. Carefully selection of the targets. Out of 42 targets, only 9 were identified and 100% neutralized. So whatever the Pakistan has done, the Pakistan has not stopped there. It is a terror.
Wing Commander Sharma, I'll come back to you.
Yeah.
Let me get Colonel Dini on this and get his initial comments on the press conference. Colonel Dini, you must have been listening to the press conference, must have been watching it. And of course, India, both in yesterday's press conference and also today, kept underscoring, just like Wing Commander Sharma was also, saying that India doesn't want to escalate. But if Pakistan is going to do the kind of thing it tried to do last night and early this morning, then India's hand, of course, will be, twisted, and India will be compelled to act. Your thoughts on the press conference?
See, Abhishek, one thing is very clear, that India's resolve, 2 resolves, I put it that way, that India's 2 resolves was amplified during the press conference. First resolve of India was that, if at all Pakistan chooses to act against Indian installations, Indian citizens, India reserves the right to respond in the same manner. That was the first resolve. The second resolve, as you rightly mentioned, was that India does not want an escalatory, getting into an escalatory spiral with Pakistan. I think these 2 resolves were amply displayed during the press conference. So first, it was clarified that yesterday, while after Op Sindoor was carried out by the 2 officers from the armed forces, they had amply clarified that the strike was carried out on 9 terrorist camps. The strike was not carried out against any civilian populated areas or against any military installations. And the strike was carried out, to take out certain terror groups and terrorist leaders as a response to what happened in Pahalgam. And that was one thing which the Foreign Secretary also mentioned, that the trigger or the initiating point should not be missed, missed in this entire action which is happening right now. The trigger remains Pahalgam massacre by Pakistan trained militants or terrorists. So after that, India was forced to take this action, and yet the window was given that this is not against any military targets. But Pakistan chose to target 15 military installations today morning. It is to the credit of the Indian Defence Forces that not a single missile or drone was able to make any impact on any of those targets. And as a countermeasure or as a response, India chose to target the air defense system inside Pakistan. And it was confirmed during the press conference that the Lahore air defense system was neutralized. So, and again, it was once again given a reiteration that India does not choose to escalate again. But should Pakistan again get back to the business of doing such illogical and foolish things, I think India reserves its right to strike back again.
Right. Wing Commander Sharma, let me come back to you. You have significant experience with the UN as well. A question which is being asked on social media a lot is, of course, at what point in time can this be considered an act of war? Because there's escalation in the sense that India, of course, as both of you mentioned, struck across multiple locations in Pakistan under Operation Sindoor. Pakistan, of course, attempted last night and early this morning to strike multiple Indian cities. 16 people on this side of the border have died, including women and children. At what point in time does this, under UN Charter, become an act of war from either side?
As far as Abhishek, UN Charter is concerned, this was our right for in self-defense or to eliminate the terrorist from Pakistan land was our right. It was, we have not violated the UN Charter, but this kind of retaliatory or initiation from Pakistan, what has happened from yesterday night and today morning, this had been the act of war, and it very much comes in the frame of that law. So the world community also knows it. As far as this kind of part is concerned, it means the Pakistan has no right to fire on our defense installations. That too, the 15 selected targets where they have fired, it is the fortunate or receive, it is our capability that we have neutralized by using the S-400 AD systems and our integrated air defense systems from the defense forces. It is our capability which we have done it. But as far as Pakistan is concerned, they have targeted our civil area, defense areas, and this is very much comes in the frame of act of war.
Right. Colonel Dini, I want to come to you and get your comments on the kind of weapon systems which were used by India to carry out Operation Sindoor, which, of course, as several ministers and, of course, also the MEA press briefing mentioned, that is, of course, currently on because Pakistan, since the first instance, which is when on the night of 6th or early morning of 7th, India, carried out Operation Sindoor and struck multiple locations inside Pakistan. My question to you, sir, is about, of course, the weapon system which India used and how well prepared India is to counter any kind of threat from Pakistan.
Abhishek, regarding this weapon system, let me put up first a disclaimer that no official statement has come that what kind of weapon system we have used. Yes. I think that is also because of the reason that as part of this is an ongoing operation in progress. So it is in the right spirit that, it is in the right way that the kind of weaponry was used is not disclosed, because based on that, a lot of inputs can be ascertained that which kind of platform was used, from where did it take off, and such like things. So, but whatever is there in the open source, it is very clear that, of course, Air Force assets in the form of Rafale and other assets were used, but also there were a couple of drones also which were used. And as far as today early morning thing is concerned, the Israeli drone was also used in that, which is a loitering kind of a thing, which was used. So definitely, I would just like to put it that India today has the latest of technology-wise. We are well ahead of Pakistan. And of late we have acquired many these kind of weapon and platforms, because of which there is capability today with us for having a beyond visual range capability. So we need not cross the international border, whether it is the air border or the land border, and carry out massive destruction even while being in our own territory. So that was one thing which was, I think, visible during this attack, that none of our assets had to cross over to carry out the strike, which we actually, during the Balakot airstrikes, we had to do that. So I think it is a combination of high class technology backed by professional air warriors, which actually resulted in this, a perfect kind of a result on ground, which was to be seen. And why I say technology is not only for the weapon system, it was also for the target acquisition and also the intelligence surveillance of the target. So as was mentioned during the brief yesterday, and it was visible to all, the target was clearly identified, I'm sure through UAVs and other means which are available to us. And the target precise recording of the destruction also was shown to us. Of course, many were not shown, but whatever need to be shown, it was shown. So the lack of available information after Balakot was covered up this time. So there is no space, or there is no even an iota of doubt in anybody's mind that what was actually done to the targets selected. So you're right that there is the weapon system and the technology played a very important role. And I think in the coming days you will see further of these things, especially among the drones, because drones is one thing which has never been used in India-Pakistan conflict, of such nature. So I feel that particular weapon system will play a huge role in the coming days, if at all this particular phase of Operation Sindoor is escalated to the next level. So I'll put it there. I don't want to disclose more of these ammunition and things because of.
And I will not push you, sir. But we are only discussing what's already out there, what's already in public domain, including, of course, the fact that S-400 system was activated last night to counter some of the incoming threats from Pakistan, and of course that the kamikaze drones were also deployed. Which drones, what exactly, how it was done, we're not going to get into that, because as you rightly mentioned and pointed out, that of course the situation is currently hot, and the lesser we say on that note, the better. Wing Commander Sharma, the decision to not cross the LOC this time, is that something which you would say a learning from the last time when we conducted the surgical strikes? And of course, in those strikes, one of our planes were lost, and one of our pilots ended up in Pakistan.
As far as Abhishek, this part is concerned, at that point of time, we were not having Rafale with us, number one. So we have the capability with Rafale, without crossing the LOC, we can fire. And this time we have judiciously utilized it. So same time, as far as the drone part is concerned, the Harop drone is very much capable of 1,000 kilometer range and successfully neutralizing the targets. That has been pushed into the fray. Other details is not good to divulge at the moment when the war is on. Air favorable position, air superiority position, and air dominance. In this area, we have taken the first step by neutralizing the AD systems in Lahore and even other areas of Pakistan, so that they should not succeed in their intentions to damage any kind of collateral damage to Indian continent or Indian boundaries. So this is very much there. As far as the Pakistan's this kind of action or reaction, whatever you may put it, they are compelling us. What for? We have never been aggressive. We have never done any damage to our neighbors. But Pakistan is abetting terror, radicalizing them, funded the terrorism, and for the Space Saving Act, what they are doing is they are basically not only propagating the terrorism, they have declared themselves that they are finally and forcefully indulged in terrorism only, because the Pakistan, the regular Rangers, They had been the part of all terror attacks. Let you talk about last we had Balakot, say Pathankot, and you talk Uri, you talk
Yes.
even now, what has happened, you will find them that regular army, people, rangers, and all these snappers from Pakistan had been the part, and they come in the form of jihadis. So they are basically in a nexus, and the terror groups in Pakistan is the only fighting force with them. They do not have any kind of other capabilities to face India if this war escalates further.
Right. And as far as escalation is concerned, both of you, of course, are very experienced professionals and have served in Kashmir. Depending on the options that Pakistan has, in your opinion, and this question is, of course, to both of you, I will start with you, Colonel Denny. How do you think Pakistan would try and, respond to whatever has happened if it decides to escalate? India, of course, has clearly been underscoring, saying it again and again. We don't want any escalation. We are only targeting, the terrorist infrastructure that you have. We have not targeted any military installations. We have not targeted any civilian installations. And for example, the air defense system, which was knocked out in Lahore, was of course in response to the incoming missiles from Pakistan.
Abhishek, I feel that at this moment, Pakistan army will definitely would want to do some kind of an action so that it has a face saving within its own public, within its own citizens. So they are forced, in many ways, to take some action because actually their reputation is, is pathetic in Pakistan today. Now, especially after what has happened today morning with regards to Lahore air defense system also being taken out. So I think they will do some action. Now they have three options. One is to activate further the line of control, which they have been already doing. They have been targeting civilians there, mercilessly. So they will try to further up the ante on the line of control. So that is something which has been happening for years now. So that can be managed, and even Indian Army knows what to do in retaliation there. That is the first thing which they may do. The second thing is that what they tried today, early morning, is to try and target, military installations along the international border, or even in Kashmir, and target some specific or a couple of military headquarters or targets or installations. Such kind of thing also they may try. Third is, they may just carry out, from a standoff kind of a thing, a missile or a couple of things. It just lands somewhere in India, maybe in Rajasthan or somewhere, and just make a claim that, okay, we have done we have carried out a strike inside India. So these three options are there, and since irrationality is the name of Pakistani army, I would not like to put which option they're going to take, but I'm very sure that they will come back again with some stupid option, and again they will get hit by Indian Army and Indian Air Force and Indian Navy this time. So this is the state which at the moment, Abhishek, I don't think Pakistan Army will, I don't think they have fully got the message that they are not fighting fit. They have not just don't have the capability to fight military wise and economic wise. I think it will take a little more pushing for them to understand that.
Wing Commander Sharma, of course, during your years with the Air Force, several war games must have been in front of you. You must have been part of several of them. Based on your experience, what do you think Pakistan, if it wants to, if it tries to escalate, what will it do?
See, Abhishek, we have all the capabilities. The Pakistan doesn't have its own satellite. But let me today share it. I have done it earlier. I've been on deputation to ISRO also, and we have our own satellite to use. Without that, you can't carry out any operations. So I had been the joint director in that. I will not name how, where, and how we are using it. But yes, judiciously, we are utilizing for the optimum use. And that is why our accuracy, real-time information is absolutely 100%. So as far as Pakistan is concerned, and its intention is concerned, it's very simple. Pakistan is surviving on two fields. Number one, it is always in Pakistan, where is a political party or these terrorist groups, they say the India's J&K. That is one issue they always raise in UN. And the second thing is getting the name deleted of all the terrorist groups from the UN security list. These are the only two agendas. So now what they are doing, they are siding the terrorism. They are supporting the terrorism. They are putting national flag. Once we have neutralized, what does it show? That Pakistan is actually, there is no country. Pakistan is not a defense which can stand today. Their entire defense is like a traders. And particularly they come from a very selected area of Punjabi Suba, that is Lahore, Sindh, around. And so that is why we know it. And they have put now two special divisions of army under a one major general to counter, because it is the siding from Jodhpur sector. So that is the basic area where we are very much careful. Pakistan will be cut into 4 pieces in the time to come if they escalate. It's very simple. We have a standby strategy, tactical as well as strategic. Baluchistan is already on. 80% of Baluchistan have declared themselves as free because 22 regiments, they are in particular regular Pakistan army are from Baluch. 298 officers have been murdered. They have been neutralized by the Pakistan current army, same General Murid. Why? Because they were siding the Imran Khan government. So basically, Pakistani military is always handled in the name of this, but by rulers' part is concerned, by hook or crook, it is the Pakistan military who is ruling the Pakistan.
That is clear. That is very clear, sir, and rightly pointed out. But is that also why Pakistan army is, especially since Pakistan in this case was the aggressor when it chose to send terrorists to India on 22nd of April, and of course 25 Indians and 1 Nepalese citizen were shot down by these terrorists. The timing of this, do you think this has anything to do with the unpopularity of Pakistani army and of course Asim Munir being more and more unsure of maintaining his position?
And clearly, at least based on your testimony in the House, you don't think that that's happened. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator Van Hollen. Let's talk about that reduction of $545 million to the FBI base resources. It's certainly true we don't have a budget. Certainly the conclusion that with what we have, it made sense to proceed with these hearings so that the appropriations process can continue. And we look to Director Patel to help fill in spaces as to what is going to occur based upon what he knows, which presumably is maybe significantly more than what we know is the plan at the FBI. The document that we've received asserts that savings, this $545 million, can come from reductions in DEI programs, pet projects of the former administration, and duplicative intelligence activities. Is that accurate? Is that capable of being done, that we can find this in what I suppose most people around here call waste, fraud, and abuse? Or does it have real consequences to the level of personnel and the capabilities of meeting the mission of the FBI?
Well, I think my job, Senator, is to make sure we can find it. We've identified a lot of it already, and we'll continue to do it irrespective of where the budget lands, because we can't have waste, fraud, and abuse. But I'll make the mission work on whatever budget we're given.
But that means lowering the mission, right?
I think right now where we are, Senator, is that stepping back from 432 years ago, there's vacancies at the Bureau that have been held vacant.
यह विश्वसनीय रूप से ज्ञात हुआ कि लाहौर में स्थित एक वायु रक्षा प्रणाली को निष्क्रिय कर दिया गया.
Today morning, Indian Armed Forces targeted air defense radars and systems at a number of locations in Pakistan. Indian response has been in the same domain with the same intensity as Pakistan. It has been reliably learnt that an air defense system at Lahore has been neutralized.
पाकिस्तान ने नियंत्रण रेखा पर अकारण गोलीबारी की तीव्रता बढ़ा दी है, जिसमें कुपवाड़ा, बारामूला, उरी, पुंछ, मेंढर और राजौरी क्षेत्रों में मोर्टार और भारी तोपखाने का इस्तेमाल किया जा रहा है।
Pakistan has increased the intensity of its unprovoked firing across the line of control using mortar and heavy caliber artillery in areas in Kupwara, Baramulla, Uri, Poonch, Mendhar and Rajouri sectors in Jammu and Kashmir. 16 innocent lives have been lost, including 3 women and 5 children, due to the Pakistani firing.
Because, I mean, in case of LTTE, of course, a lot of terrorists were